For Gold Rush fan favorite Tony Beets, one shocking moment from 2017 continues to create real-world consequences nearly a decade later. Known for his gruff personality and no-nonsense approach to mining, Beets has built a reputation as one of the most successful and stubborn miners in the Yukon. But behind the scenes, he's been quietly dealing with the fallout of a decision that he himself once brushed off as a joke gone bad. That joke, now infamously known as the Viking funeral, has become a serious roadblock in his mining operations, with some fans and critics speculating it could permanently jeopardize his ability to obtain the water licenses he desperately needs. The incident in question took place in 2017 and was aired during an episode of Gold Rush. At the time, one of Beets' welders, Mark Favrin, was finishing his last day on the job. Wanting to go out with a bang, literally, Favrin came up with the idea for a symbolic send-off that he and the crew dubbed a Viking funeral. He reportedly asked Beets if he could carry out the stunt, and the veteran miner, perhaps distracted or simply indifferent, gave an offhand go-ahead. What happened next was shocking. Favrin poured gasoline directly into a dredge pond on Beets' claim. Then, with another employee's help, the gasoline was set ablaze. Flames erupted across the water, and the crew celebrated, laughing and cheering as the pond burned. It made for dramatic television, but it also turned out to be illegal and environmentally reckless. At first, it may have seemed like just another wild moment on Gold Rush, but the televised footage quickly caught the attention of Yukon authorities. They didn't see it as entertainment, they saw it as a violation of the Yukon Waters Act. The incident led to serious legal consequences for both Favrin and Beets. Favrin was fined $1,725 for polluting the water, but Beets faced a much heavier burden. As the man in charge, he was held responsible not only for allowing the incident to happen but also for failing to report it. The Yukon government treated the case seriously, citing the presence of harmful toxins and carcinogens in gasoline that can pose serious risks to aquatic life, local wildlife, and humans alike. Brendan Mulligan, a senior water quality scientist, confirmed that even small quantities of gasoline in water can have devastating ecological effects. What was staged as a rowdy crew celebration had, in fact, created a real environmental hazard. Beets and his mining company, Tamarack Incorporated, were eventually summoned to Yukon Territorial Court. In the hearings, it became clear that both Beets and his crew had violated environmental regulations by contaminating the water and not reporting it. In the end, Beets and Tamarack were ordered to pay over $31,000 in total fines and legal fees. During court proceedings, Beets acknowledged that he should have stepped in and stopped the stunt. He admitted that, as the leader of the crew, he bore responsibility for what happened. Instead of intervening, he allowed the stunt to unfold and, worse, didn't alert authorities afterward. Though he tried to frame the event as a misguided joke, the damage had already been done. Though many viewers may have forgotten the Viking funeral episode, the repercussions of that single act continue to ripple through Beets' career. In recent years, fans on platforms like Reddit have revisited the controversy, especially in light of Beets' ongoing struggle to obtain essential water licenses for his operations. One user proposed starting a petition to help Beets, but others were quick to point out the likely reason for his licensing difficulties: that Viking funeral. According to multiple commenters, government agencies and First Nations authorities have long memories, and when a miner publicly pollutes a water source on national television, it doesn't exactly inspire confidence. As one fan bluntly put it, if your company relies on water permits, pouring gasoline in a pond and setting it on fire for a TV show probably isn't a great idea. It's not just the Viking funeral that's causing skepticism among regulators. Some fans and critics have also pointed out that Beets has not done a strong job of reclaiming land after mining. This is in sharp contrast to Gold Rush rival Parker Schnabel, who has received recognition and awards for his reclamation efforts. While Schnabel is often praised for working closely with local governments and respecting environmental standards, Beets has developed a reputation, fair or not, for cutting corners. Although Beets has tried to move on, the incident has stuck to him like mud. He's rarely spoken about it publicly, preferring to keep the focus on his mining success rather than the scandal. But in the tight-knit regulatory environment of the Yukon, the Viking funeral isn't just a headline, it's a mark against his credibility as a responsible mining operator. The irony is that Tony Beets has long portrayed himself as a leader who runs a tight ship. But when it counted, his failure to act allowed a dangerous and illegal stunt to unfold under his watch. Despite claiming that he could handle the situation at the time, his admission that he didn't stop or report the act has raised serious questions about his judgment. Today, Beets continues to mine, but the Viking funeral remains a stain on his record. It serves as a powerful reminder that one reckless moment, especially one captured on camera, can have years-long consequences, both in the court of law and in the court of public opinion. What was meant to be a wild farewell gesture has become one of the most controversial moments in Gold Rush history. For Tony Beets, the Viking funeral isn't just a regrettable chapter, it's a lingering obstacle that could define the future of his mining legacy. And as the Gold Rush saga continues, fans are left to wonder, will Tony Beets ever fully recover from the fallout of his own fiery mistake? Or will the blaze of that joke gone bad be the one thing he can never extinguish? Tony Beets has never been one to back down from a challenge. Known on Gold Rush as the hard-driving, no-nonsense king of the Klondike, Beets has built his mining empire with grit, risk-taking, and old-school determination. But even legends face setbacks, and for Beets, one of the biggest obstacles in his career came not from a failed mining operation, but from a controversial moment that nearly derailed everything. But instead of letting the scandal define him, Beets took accountability, paid his dues, and moved forward. What followed was a remarkable comeback story that proves why he's still one of the most respected and successful miners in the Yukon. The Viking funeral incident could have permanently damaged Tony Beets' mining career. Fined for violating the Yukon Waters Act and saddled with criticism from environmental authorities and fans alike, Beets faced serious questions about whether he could continue leading Tamarack Incorporated and operating at full capacity. His ability to obtain critical water licenses was also called into question, putting future mining seasons in jeopardy. But while others might have gone quiet or faded from the spotlight, Beets responded the only way he knows how, by getting back to work. After the legal dust settled, Beets made clear, both in court and in later interviews, that he had learned a valuable lesson. No longer brushing off the incident as a harmless joke, he acknowledged his failure to take responsibility in the moment and accepted the consequences. Behind the scenes, Beets tightened operations at Tamarack, showing regulators and viewers alike that he understood the importance of compliance and environmental responsibility. He made efforts to modernize parts of his mining fleet, increase productivity, and reduce inefficiencies. While never one to boast, his results spoke for themselves: bigger gold hauls, better management, and a crew that remained loyal through thick and thin. As the seasons progressed, Beets once again became a central force on Gold Rush. With his family by his side, Monica, Mike, and Kevin all taking on larger roles, he showed fans that the Beets legacy wasn't going anywhere. In fact, it was growing stronger. By focusing on massive operations like moving entire wash plants and resurrecting old claims, Beets reminded viewers of his unmatched ambition. His bold choices, like reviving his massive dredge, were high risk but high reward. While other miners played it safe, Beets aimed big, reinforcing his image as the last true mining outlaw in the Klondike. His ability to bounce back earned him renewed respect, not just from fans, but from his fellow miners. Even Parker Schnabel, who once clashed with Beets over claims and strategy, has acknowledged the scale and success of Tony's operations. What truly sets Tony Beets apart is his focus on family. Through all the challenges, the Beets clan stuck together. Whether it was Monica running her own crew, Kevin taking on leadership roles, or Mike learning the ropes, the next generation of Beets miners stepped up in a big way. Tony's trust in his children to take on more responsibility reflected his growth not only as a miner, but as a mentor. After years of doing everything himself, he began transitioning Tamarack Incorporated into a true family business, with strong roots and a future beyond his own boots in the dirt. Today, Tony Beets is still standing tall, grizzled, tough, and unapologetically himself. But he's also wiser, more reflective, and fully aware that mistakes don't have to be the end of the road. They can be turning points. The Viking funeral may have lit a fire that burned through headlines in courtrooms, but it didn't burn Tony Beets down. Instead, it ignited a new chapter in his journey, one marked by redemption, resilience, and renewed purpose. From scandal to comeback, Beets has shown that even kings can fall, but the truly great ones rise again. And in the unpredictable, unforgiving world of Gold Rush, Tony Beets has proven that he's not just surviving, he's still thriving.